Stop feeling bad for not wanting to be fat. It is not uncommon midways during a consultation for clients to ask me, so coach, what clicked for you? Like, what finally made you do it? What made you lose the weight? And my answer is always, I hated being fat. And now that's just for me. I'm not trying to body shame anybody, but for me, again, I did not like being fat. And I would like to say overweight, but call a spade a spade. If we go off the BMI chart, which I know that that's not always the wisest thing to do because they're somewhat outdated, especially with me having muscle, I'm still overweight. But what I'm talking about is when the stomach starts lapping over, having rolls on my back, my stomach, fat hanging off the back of my elbows. Just like, I love myself. Do not ever get it twisted. I can show y'all endless videos, photos of me back then. I was always smiling, always happy. I just knew that as far as my appearance, I did not like what I was representing. That just was not the move for me. And a lot of the times people will say, if you tell somebody that you want to lose weight, you're tired of being overweight or tired of being fat, everybody's not meant to be skinny. No. My reply to that is always, no, everybody's not meant to be fat. I always say this in a joking manner, but I'm so dead serious. Double that shit and give it to the next person. It wasn't the move for me. I have so much more confidence now. What I mean by that, yes, I move differently as far as how I dress. There are so many little weird things that I wear, and y'all see it. I post videos all the time that as when I was overweight, bro, you couldn't have paid me to put that stuff on, even if they made it in my size. For me, there's just so many perks about being in a smaller body. My husband's a pretty strong man for his age, but this is way off the subject, and I think I've brought it up in a past video before, but I don't know if y'all remember last year around September, I believe it was, I had hammer toe surgery, and that following week I had to go to work, but I was on crutches. I had to wear surgical shoes for quite some time, and I will never forget. To me, it felt like, when you have a tooth pull and they numb you up and you're fine when you leave the dentist for hours, and then later on all that pain just comes rushing in. That's how it did with my feet. So the next day when I got home from work, thank God that my job is not really hard labor or anything like that, I pulled up in the yard, and my husband, I had spoke with him that morning and told him how much pain I was in. I was trying my best not to take pain medication because if y'all know my backstory with my past drug addiction, that was like, I had to be really careful with how I move when it came to my pain medication. But anyway, to say the least, my husband was able to meet me outside when I pulled up that morning from work into our yard, and he was able to pick me up and carry me in the house effortlessly. And that's before he even got into shape. He had already lost the weight, but as far as working out and lifting weights, he was able to pick me up. And I know that had I been 247 pounds, the older version of me, I don't know that he could have, probably not. But it would have been a struggle. I wouldn't have, it's just so, anyway, there's just so many wins to me being in a smaller body. And another thing, I swear, I don't make the rules, but I do pay attention. And anybody that's ever lost a significant amount of weight and recombed their body, you already know. But I promise you, if you've been on both ends of the spectrum, people treat you differently. People were always nice to me. Nobody's never been mean to me or called me, fat, or was like family members. But anyway, nobody's just never been mean to me like out in public or anything like that. But just the respect and the way people compliment me now, it's just so different. And another thing I'm going to touch on, this is kind of personal, but y'all know me, I'm transparent. I don't care. I'm going to talk about it. If it pops up here, I'm going to talk about it. But okay, y'all know I've shared my with my husband when he was a type 2 diabetic. His diabetes and everything's under control now. High blood pressure, high cholesterol. We had put on a significant amount of weight, and even though it was failed attempts, but as far as intimacy, I am being so serious when I say this. Like I was like 247 pounds. It did not feel right. I did not feel sexy. He was too heavy. I was too heavy. And so what I'm saying is that maybe overweight people in their younger days, younger years, maybe it's because I see it all the time. I'm just gonna be just open right now. I'm just gonna say it. People are fat phobic, bro, and I mean, like, everybody, even fat people are fat phobic. So y'all just stop playing, all right? But it is not uncommon to be out and you can see two big couples, the man big, the woman big. They may have a small child. you'd be like, now I wonder how in the world, like, I'm trying to picture this, and I don't even want to picture it. I'm saying this because I heard someone very close to me that I see on a regular basis, not family or anything like that, I consider them family, but has said this before, looking at an overweight couple. And I've heard it all throughout my life. But now that me and my husband have been that, I swear, and me being I'm 40 years old now. I was in my late 30s, mid 30s. He's in his 50s, so he was in his mid 50s. Like, bro, that was like, that's when sex becomes a chore. When you start looking into things like erectile dysfunction, what causes it, yada, yada, yada. I'm not saying that skinny or smaller framed men don't experience it. It's inevitable at some point. But bro, I promise you, one of the first things that you will read for a man as far as their BMI, like when it comes to erectile dysfunction, to stay small, stay in a smaller body. All that excess body fat is mashing down on organs and blood vessels. And so, like, I mean, go figure. And I love my husband irregardless, but I am so glad that he finally took matters into his own hands and done something about that. Even then, right away, our sex life didn't just magically improve. It is perfect now. And even though I don't believe that that's the reason he done it, because to be honest, things had got so bad, we both had just kind of blocked that part of our life out and gave up on it. That is another way that even for men, I promise you, being in a smaller, healthier, more fit body is beneficial, more beneficial than not. And one more compliment that my husband has given me since I've been in a smaller body is that I walk lighter. We have a house now. We bought a home, our first home together, but we lived in a raggedy trailer before we were able to, while we were saving our money, working and saving our money to purchase our first home. And he would say, like, once I lost the weight, that my steps were lighter, that I wouldn't just boom, boom, boom. Like, you could just, I wasn't conscious of it, but just hear me through the trailer, boom, boom, boom. It's like, I don't know. And a lot of people will say, well, I'm just trying to get healthier. And the people will message me all the time asking me for the phone number to my gym or to the, my local gym and things like that. And they'll be like, because it's time I'm trying to get healthier. Girl, just say you want to lose the weight. You're sick of being fat. That's the honest to God truth, because I promise y'all, I wouldn't do over half of what I do just for health. Don't get me wrong, the health part is an added benefit. I was never unhealthy, and I know people that are, they're not healthy. They have type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. They could not care less. Until you get tired of what you see in the mirror, bro, like... Now wait, I will say this. I do have a few older people in my gym that had strokes or like heart attacks, and their doctor told them, hey, you better get in the gym, you better start doing this, you better get active. And they did it, and they've been that way ever since. And these are people, they're like in their 70s, okay, 60s, 70s, stuff like that. Even some in their 80s. For the most part, let's just be real. I promise y'all, I'm humble enough to admit that it is hard living like this to a degree. I enjoy it, but I know it's hard. I'm humble enough to know that it's hard. There is no way I would be doing all of this shit if it didn't make me look the way that it did. I love the result, the end result of what I see. And of course, I definitely appreciate the health benefits. It's not to say that I can't get type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, but I know my chances are a lot less likely. You get it?